In 1997, I painted a couple of water towers in Bastrop, Texas. And one particular day, it was just me and one other guy at work, and we were working on the inside. So I had climbed up and gotten on the inside of the water tower. Took me a long time to get ready, because you got to go a long way up and you got to get situated, and well, I was sandblasting that day. And so I would bang on the tank for my helper to turn my sand pot on. And so I banged, boom, boom, and he turned my sandblaster on. And I'm sandblasting, everything's going good, I'm in a rhythm, and then poof, the sandblaster just shuts off. So I don't know what's going on, so I bang, boom, boom, turn it back on, nothing. Boom, boom, turn it back on, nothing. So I'm pissed. So I throw my sandblaster down, and I get unsituated, and I climb down on the inside, and I come out, and I look out the manhole cover, and I see my helper. He's a decent sized man, he's a big man. He is screaming, sideways on the ground, spinning. Something's wrong. So I run down the water tower. I climb real fast. And I run out there, and well, the bull hose that goes from the compressor to the sand pot had popped off and hit him right in his shin. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the equivalent of somebody hitting you with a baseball bat as hard as they can in the shin. And it was metal too, so maybe even a little bit harder. So I picked this man up, carry him to the truck. Now this was before cell phones. I didn't have no cell phone. And I didn't even know where the hospital was. But I remember on my way to work, I would see hospital signs. So that was my plan. We were way back in the woods too. So I carry this man to the truck. He's screaming, screaming. And I put him in the truck, and I go around the other side, and I crank the truck up, and we drive, and I go to the hospital signs, and it points me. And I made it directly to the hospital, which is about 20 miles, how far we had to go. But I took him into the emergency room. I picked this man up, and I carry him into the emergency room. And there was a lady who was next. She was a black lady, a beautiful lady, a lovely lady. But she seen me carrying this man and seen him crying, and she said, you know what? Let him go first. That man's crying, and that man must be in some pain. And so they take him in first. And then I just start the waiting game. I let them deal with him, and I wait. But I tell that story to say this. We pass on a spiritual level. We walk past people who are in that same excruciating pain daily. We see them on these phones. We see them on the TV. Now, it looks more like anger, confusion, bitterness. But there's people we walk past with that same pain. And yet, the emergency rooms or the church are reserved for the people who are already well and don't want the hurt people to come in. Because a church is literally an emergency room for the soul. People used to give me shit. They would say, hey, Red, man, why do you wear camo shorts and Nike shoes to church? You need to dress up. Well, why? Why would I do that? I'm saved. I know the Most High God. If this is His house, what if somebody homeless walks in? I want to look, at least, I want them to be comfortable. I had a man tell me a few years ago, man, when you go to church, you got to wear a suit and tie. Why? Tell me why. Why? I got a lot of tattoos, and I got to take them off too. I think the church is sick. And I say this in all my videos, but the church is an emergency room for the soul. We should always be prepared for somebody homeless, beat up, rugged, drug addicted, smelling like alcohol. We should always be prepared for somebody like that to walk in and do surgery on their souls. Keep in mind, this is my message. We walk past people screaming in excruciating pain all day, every day. They're everywhere. The harvest, it's ready. See, when people cry out in anger or bitterness and fits of rage, what I believe they're saying, help me. And yet, they don't receive the help. Do you think they would feel comfortable walking into a church of people who are dressed nice and have life all figured out because they're okay and they're well and they just want to be left alone? Keep my peace. I've got peace. I come here on Sundays and Wednesdays. I've got peace. Don't bring nobody sick in here. We should always be ready to welcome the sick and the broken and the ones who need help immediately. Always. We should always be prepared for that. And I think the church has fallen down on that. I think it's lacking big time. Anyway, if you don't know Jesus Christ today, Yeshua, you can go to him. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you're going through, what you're doing. You can go to him. He took this drug-addicted criminal. It was not easy. It was not. It was hard. The gate is narrow. You know, the right way is narrow. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I can say that now. Training always sucks. But you know, whenever the training is hard and brutal, it makes the fight a little bit easier. I hope this message helps somebody.